Hello and welcome to this Halloween vlog. I love Halloween so much. It is a commitment to a bit as a holiday. I love playing dress up and being goofy, and I don't know, every time I think about getting into cosplay, I don't want to do all that. I want like the vibes. I've made something and like we all sort of catch what I'm doing. My homemade costume, only I'm now a whole adult wearing my homemade costume. My mom did make like homemade costumes for us when I was a kid. This is like maybe a core, you know, like history of the brand story here, but when I was like a little girl, the first couple years where I was making active decisions about what I wanted to be for Halloween, I was different Disney princesses. Somewhere in the run up to Halloween in second grade, I don't know when or how or why, it dawned on me that like the whole thing here was that I could be anything, and my mom was extremely game. Like there's nothing that I could have said to her that she wouldn't have tried to make happen. And so for Halloween that year, I decided that I was going to be a spooky tree. I cannot tell you where this came from, why that is what I wanted to be. The thing that was truly like transformative, game-changing about this spooky tree costume and like how it just like opened up the world of Halloween to me is that my elementary school had costume contests. Basically, we would do this like big parade, and like one grade at a time the kids would march around in a big circle wearing our Halloween costumes, and a couple adults would just like pluck 3 kids per grade out of the lineup and give us costumes. And the year of my spooky tree, I got second place, being given a ribbon for being a fucking weirdo. Like leaning into my, you know, silly, goofy child impulses. Something about that moment of like committing to a bit into a competitive activity, just it like unleashed something in me. 5th grade was super annoying because my 5th grade teacher had this long-standing tradition where she would have her whole class have a matching costume, and like we would do the march separate from the grade. So there was like 5th graders minus this class in our matching fucking costume, and I was livid. I don't think you understand just how much I look forward to this. Like I love the idea of like being outlandish and weird, and the idea that I have to dress up the same as 29 other kids feels like the exact opposite of what I want to do on this day. We went with this whole like military theme, so everybody went out and got like army fatigues or whatever, and I, true to form, did a whole like Private Benjamin thing and had this like camouflage mini dress again that my mom made me. Like we went and bought like a, you know, oversized camouflage tank top that my mom took in and turned into a little mini dress because that's who I was as a child. Full credit to that moment of like not being able to make it a fucking competitive activity. Like once there stopped being prizes, it did become genuinely just chill and silly. Anyway, I don't actually have plans this year. I'm not doing anything. It is currently like 10 o'clock at night, the Saturday before Halloween. I don't have a costume, although I did wear this out in the world today, and somebody complimented my costume and then stopped and said, wait, is it a costume or do you just dress like that? And I was like, I don't even really know what to say to that. I do have a whole costume box. So truly, given how low-key my plans are, there is absolutely no need whatsoever for me to make a costume. I could just go into my costume box and wear one of those costumes. I have a separate and like seemingly unrelated concern, except I'm making it related. I'm connecting the concerns here, and that is this dress. I made this dress because I officiated my cousin's wedding over the summer. Honestly, like one of the most magical weddings I've ever been to. It sounds like I'm bragging about my officiating, but I'm not. I mean, like the larger the wedding itself. My cousin truly missed her calling as a party planner. It was really, really incredible. Regardless, I made this dress, okay? I did not actually finish this dress in time. I am a notorious procrastinator, but in my defense, I didn't finish this dress for shit that was well beyond my control. I was most of the way done, okay? I need to finish the armholes and I need to hem it. That is it. Those are the only things remaining. She's zip, okay, well, I gotta cut those threads, but it's fucking done. Unfortunately, the night before I was supposed to leave for this wedding, the power went out. It was like 7 o'clock at night, and I was getting the bias binding. Honestly, I'm so grateful that the sewing machine wasn't like actively mid sew at the time that this happened. I was getting my bias binding prepped so that I could finish the armholes, and the power went out, and it did not come back until after midnight. I set the dress aside and started packing by fucking candlelight so that I could be packed and ready to go. if that had not happened, if the power had not gone out, I might have still been up until 1 o'clock in the morning, but I would have been up till 1 o'clock in the morning and like gone to bed with everything packed and my dress made. At 12:30 or whatever, when the power came back on, I did not go back to trying to make the dress because I had a ride scheduled to pick me up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the airport. I just was like, I actually need to lay down and go to sleep. In retrospect, I honestly kind of wish that I had stayed up and like kept going just so that I like would have finished the dress, because now I have this fucking ball gown that like, where am I gonna wear this? Where, when, why? I love her, but why? What am I going to do with this? Except, of course, by now you've surely guessed that my favorite holiday might just be the solution. It's the one night a year that you can dress like a total slut and no other girls can say anything. And the really hardcore girls just wear lingerie and some form of animal ears. Right. So in that, but ball gowns, right? That, but like your favorite dress. It's the one night a year that you can wear your fanciest dress and nobody can say anything because you're not overdressed. You're just dressed. You're dressed for the day. I did do a Karen Smith costume one year while we're on the subject. Anyway, at this point, the real thing is honestly just that I want to make myself finish this dress. It's been sitting here on this dress form all sad and depressing for months now. The wedding was in July. And I look at it and I feel sad. So step one is finishing the dress. That's the game plan for tonight. And then tomorrow, we're gonna have a little fun and figure out how we turn the completed dress into a makeshift Halloween costume. I got sidetracked, so it is actually 11 o'clock that I am starting work on this project. If the power hadn't gone out at all, the dress would have been done. I just really need to, not lose sight of that fact, that important fact, that the dress didn't get finished because of the power outage and the ensuing chaos created by the power outage, okay? Hey, so guess what? I have a new terrible discovery. I can't zip this dress up alone. It's possible that I'm just like, I don't know, tired and delirious and maybe tomorrow I'll have better luck, but more likely this whole thing was for nothing. So that's a tough pill to swallow. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what's gonna happen to this video in that case. This is sort of the whole fucking point. I popped my nail off trying to get the fucking zipper up. I was about to say that the dress is done, but that's not true because I do still have to hem it. I will go ahead and do that because it's only midnight, and then at least the dress will be done. Which, okay, getting the dress done was my actual goal. My actual goal was to just get the dress done and use like Halloween as an excuse, because I'd been avoiding the dress because I was like, when am I gonna wear the dress? It's like a bummer, blah, blah, blah. It's fine. Hello, it is now 1:13 in the morning and the dress is done. At long last. A thing that I'd been avoiding for a couple months because it was kind of a bummer. It's done. It's finally done. And it is more of a bummer than I was hoping that it would be at this point. But, it is what it is. I have some thoughts about how to muddle through and finish this project. If you're seeing this video, it means I have something. You can see from the little time bar below you that more things are coming. That's tomorrow's problem. Now's problem is that I need to wash my face and go to sleep. Hello, and welcome back to another evening of Chaotic Costumes with Nicole. I don't know why I'm dancing. I also don't know why I'm welcoming you back because, no time at all has passed for you. But for me, a whole day has gone by. It is 10:30 at night now, actually. And if you're now thinking, hey, Nicole, why do you keep doing this in the evening if it's like the weekend and you theoretically have all day to work on this? And to that I say, your questions are rude and unbecoming, and I don't like them. The dress is back on Laura, the dress form. While I was out and about on this very lovely day, I had a thought, a vision for how to proceed here. My whole thing was, how do you take fancy black dress and make it give costume? I should reiterate now that I do not have actual plans for this Halloween, which is on a Thursday this year. So I'm gonna work all day, and I have a day full of meetings. I'm in meetings, for like 6 of the 8 hours. Put my little Halloween thinking cap on. What if we take the same approach, but it's stuff I can be wearing on my little Zoom calls. Whatever I would do to this, maybe not quite true, many things I would do to this to turn this into costume are things that I could also conceivably do to this and make it give costume. Look, now I am at work. The costume box is like a collection of vibes. Okay, this guy right here is probably the most obvious way to turn, you know, dress into costume, because it's like it's costume, you know. This is like I think official merch too. Like I think it's actually a proper Disney. Yeah. I spent probably too much money on this, but it's great, and it has gotten a lot of use over the years. Not by me, by my mom. I don't know what she's gonna do without my costume. I should have left this behind for her, because at this point it's more hers than mine. You know, it's corporate Maleficent. I don't know what I look like. I don't have a mirror, so this is gonna be a time when I look at it later. This is just a skirt. Oh, it's for I bought this my senior year of college. I directed Rocky Horror. The co-directors were adorable and tiny, and I just was feeling really insecure. So I bought this little, this guy. I could wear it with this. You know, this is how you take it from day to night. This is a cape that I made for my Scarlet Witch costume. This is also an easy conversion to costume. I feel like I should Google black dress, red cape. Vampire, get like vampire teeth. I don't have anything in here. The cape, crazy easy to make. It's a giant rectangle, and then you fold it over and you make casing for the strings, and the strings are also, I guess, a giant rectangle, but like a very, very skinny one. You know what I mean? Cape is a very good beginner sewing project, actually. There are so many beginner sewing projects that kind of suck, because you're like, what am I gonna do with this shitty tablecloth? There's a lot of costume applications here. Also, it's just like kind of fun to like wear cape. I will link some cape, like beginner cape tutorials in the video, the description. I could also make a tutorial. I would feel silly doing it because so many exist, but if you would like me to make a beginner cape tutorial, let me know, because why not? I feel like there's a thing here that I'm like not quite connecting. This is the classic solution. Bam, you're a princess. Additional personal lore drop. This is a tiara that I got from a beauty pageant, because I used to do I did beauty pageants for a hot minute when I was younger. All the combs have been broken off because this has to be 30 years old. The mother of some girl in my dance classes ran or worked for Gold Coast pageants and was like, she should do that. And I was like, please, mommy. And my mom was like, okay. And we did it for a little while. And then my mom was like, this is... this is simply too much. The vibe here, the energy here, I don't like it. And that was the end of my pageant career. This is an old suit jacket of my dad's that I definitely stole while he was alive. I stole this suit jacket from who knows where, for who knows why, to be honest. I just like tossed this out of the box randomly, but this was from VidCon. They're Glozell, they're like Glozell skirts, just, you know, a throwback for the people. I do have a whole Max from Where the Wild Things Are costume that I bought years ago. It is my favorite store-bought costume of all time because it's just pajamas. It was a little on the small side back when I first bought it, which means I know that I would be very uncomfortable in it now. But the crown, you know, the crown is an option. This is my other MCU costume. I was Carol, but like street clothes Carol. I don't think I ever wore this. I don't know where this came from or why it's here. This is from my Carrie costume. Fun fact, I tried every process known to man to lighten this dress. This was back at a time when I knew a lot less about fabric than I know now. This is the color of this dress, and it will not be any other color. A shirt of my dad's that I presumably stole when I stole that jacket. These were surely purchased for a party. Which party, when, why? For one of the years that P4A people hung out at our house. We had a Halloween party, and I had the costume box sitting out, and as like if you didn't wear a costume, you're fucking fishing through the box and you're putting a costume on. I don't know where these came from. It's also very possible that somebody else purchased them and was gonna throw them away, and I was like, no, don't throw them away. I know where they go. Oh, I have two. I have two tiaras. Wow, like a little necklace Ooh. Ah. Some of it is stuff that like was clothing at one point, and I, you know, rather than donating it and inevitably letting it go to landfill, I was like, I can set it aside as potential costume box stuff. So these leg warmers that I've had since high school, I for sure bought these in high school, and I still have them. You know, if you want leg warmers, I got you. This was my dragon. Oh well. The dragon actually goes with the Maleficent costume, right? Okay, I feel like the dragon and the horns, that's a costume. And something black. Dragon horns, something black. You're Maleficent. Nailed it. Oh, I was mismatched. Somewhere in here is a sash that I made, like a beauty pageant sash. And I had like, you know, whatever, various mismatched things. I also have tap shoes in here. What is going on? What is this box? Here's the sash. This is before I knew how to sew, okay, to be clear. Look at the little puffy paint, and then I sprayed it with glitter paint. It's pretty cute. I did Luna Lovegood one year, and my mom made me this skirt. I've been digging through this fucking box for the last 15 minutes in search of this, the mouse ears, some form of animal ears. I just felt like in order to complete the bit that I started yesterday, I should get the fucking animal ears. I feel like I have options, is the long and short of this. I have several options for how to turn the black dress, or whatever the fuck this outfit is, into a Halloween costume. I still do want to make something though, because I love Halloween as a time for crafting. Completing this dress did not fully satisfy that, particularly since I don't think I'm going to be able to wear this dress on Thursday. I feel like something more still has to be done. I found a cute little tutorial for making your very own bat costume. It seems very simple. Famous last words, man. You know, we'll see if it is as simple as it seems. What a stupid journey this has been.
Measure from the center back of the neck 2 inches. And finally, measurement E is the circumference.
Okay, so I got really turned around in the process of making this very, very basic batwing pattern. It's genuinely a little embarrassing. Like, I don't actually know that I want you to see this tape measure that I basically never use. And because I never use it, I didn't realize this like 0 line was here. So I was taking all of my measurements wrong. And then when I started like actually drawing the pattern out, I drew the lines incorrectly, like I didn't leave enough space. It's just very silly because it's not actually that complicated. At one point I was drawing the little like arcs for the wings, and I just was like, oh, here's a fucking circular shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. The vibe is homemade. It will certainly give homemade. Anyway, the rest of the instructions seem very simple. I mean, you know. Ta-da! It's frickin' bats. I never did get my measurements quite right on this. On the whole, I love this much more than I thought I would. It is actually like wildly comfortable, and I don't know why I would wear this outside of Halloween, but I feel like I want to. Truly, the thing that I feel like I want to do is remake it with some slight adjustments, and then wear it all the time is just like, you know, my bat cardigan. Totally normal. Don't worry about it. My struggles with the basic functioning of my tools aside, this was actually a very easy pattern. Good beginner stuff. There's no finishing. Like, you don't have to finish any of the edges because it's a 4-way stretch fabric that isn't going to fray. And, you know, it's a silly little costume. Except, of course, that I will not be wearing my little bat cardigan out and about in the world. Anyway, this is not at all what I had originally planned, but it sure is something.